So a number of you will recognise this magazine as a journal that the Guild sent in the post. If you didn't get it, could you let me know, and preferably also on the sign-in sheet put a J beside your name, J for journal, and I will follow up specifically with the Secretariat. Only one. This is the journal that comes from the American Guild, and we have an agreement, the Australian Guild and the American Guild, that once a year we get to republish one edition of their journal and distribute it to our members. So it's one of the things that comes to you as part of your Guild membership package. If you didn't get it, okay, because I need to chase that up for you. Also, in the last couple of days, you should have received by email the Australian Journal, which is about hands. Yep. So if there's anyone that didn't get that, likewise, talk to me and we'll check what on earth's going on. Thank you. Okay, so the other day we began talking about helping these fledgling ATM teachers think about setting up some classes. Some of them might have been doing it just as a way to practice with a few friends. Some of them might have been wanting to introduce it into their workplace or their recreational context. Some of them might have been wanting to really start building their practice. So we're going to press on with that a little bit today and think about some of the other issues involved in doing that. So you remember with Sue that we were helping? She thought that working with little old ladies who like gardening, who value their independence, who have enough money to consider doing extra activities, who have certain things that they read or ways that they connect with the outer world, who live in a retirement village and go to film club. Okay? And you work with a variety of different examples and you've come up with some great ideas of how to begin to communicate with people in those categories. So in the client group that you're thinking about for the moment, one of the interesting things is to get clear, having listened to them, on what they think they need. So before lunch, we saw Moshe manage to elicit from, that was Hazel, wasn't it? Hazel. That she wanted to be able to have a better sense of balance. And that might be true of a number of the oldies that Sue wants to work with. That's probably less likely to be the case for singers or students or children. Maybe with some kids it is. But thinking about what words would they use for what they want? We also need to think about what do they currently spend their time and money on, because that's the reference that they're going to use when they think about whether they'll come to a class that we're offering. So do they currently go to bingo at the community centre and it costs them $2 a week and they're there for, I don't know, how long do you go to bingo for? Hours and hours and hours? Yeah. Maybe they go to gentle exercise, or maybe they go to line dancing, or maybe they go to, I don't know. The pokies, yep. They might not see that in quite the same context, but they may well go there. because that's going to kind of give them this sort of sense of whether what we're offering seems like a reasonable thing based on their other experience. So if everything that this old lady goes to at the community centre only costs her $2 or $5, and you want to go in and charge 15 or even 10, she's going to wonder how much extra value can she get for all that extra money. If you're thinking about people out in the general community, they might think in terms of going to yoga or Tai Chi or music lessons or dancing lessons or other things that they go somewhere for an hour or so and they pay per session. What would the going rate be that they're familiar with? You know, and that's probably in a somewhat different ballpark. Okay, so getting a sense of what sort of chunks of time and what sort of chunks of money are familiar to them. Do they expect to go somewhere for 45 minutes and pay this much? Do they expect to go for an hour and a half and pay this much? And in that time, they not only get whatever the activity is they're going to, but they get a cup of tea and a chat as well. Then one of the things that I really like about the Feldenkrais method is it's about making things easier. Same applies in our practice and in many things that we do. Where can we get leverage? Where can we push from or move from that makes it easier? So we might ask, who would be potential referrers? Who can do the work for us of encouraging people to go and try Feldenkrais? You know, is it the local GP? Is it the physio who's done whatever he or she does, but realises that this person is now ready to move on to a more self-directed management process? Is it the singing teacher that recognises that somebody could do with a little bit more awareness of their organisation and some skills in sensing themselves? Is it the golf coach? Is it the school teacher? Who is it that might be already dealing with the kinds of people that we would like to work with that can speak on our behalf? Because, you know, you've probably had the experience yourself that if somebody recommends something to you, our culture suggests that if it's somebody who is not perceived to be gaining financially from the transaction, they're more reliable. If I recommend my services, you probably think I'm just trying to get your money. So thinking about who do you need to build a relationship with? Who do you need to invite to have an experience of what you can offer that would be delighted to speak on your behalf? You know, is it the hairdresser? Is it your mother-in-law who belongs to a club where they all chat to each other? You know, is it your partner's mate that works in a particular environment? Who could speak for you? Or who do you know that has a lot of friends on Facebook in the category that you're interested in? Who might you be able to work with to offer some kind of package? You know, do you chat up the local hairdresser and say, let's do a promotion of, you know, look good, feel great. You doll them up and I'll work with them so that they actually feel elegant when they walk down the street. Which of course leads to what is it that you're actually going to offer this group. Hopefully it addresses what they think they want, but it comes from a place of us having a sense of what we can offer from our toolkit, our experience, that will help them to move closer to whatever it is that they want. It probably won't be about nerve impulses. Okay, and then having thought through some of those things, then I encourage you to begin to find some words. What might be the phrase or the heading, the theme of what you put on the brochure that might catch the attention and appeal to this particular group? So I'm not asking you to write the whole brochure, but just to think about the sorts of words and language that might make sense and be consistent with what you have to offer them. Okay? I can see that you're all full of enthusiasm, raring to go. So in a really kind of easy, gentle way, could you saunter back to your posters or thereabouts, and I'll bring you a little set of guidelines where you will find yourselves incredibly stimulated by the interaction with your intelligent colleagues, and you can just have a little bit of fun for a few minutes coming up with some ideas, jotting them down, we'll capture them, and they'll be safe for later when we have the enthusiasm and the energy to do something about it. Okay, off you go. Please go back to the same group for the moment. Yes, please. Unless you really, really, really can't stand it, then... Did you not have a group? Well, there's a small group that would like some more energy.
We don't need to look at that picture.
There we go. So bear in mind that you're really focusing on one group at a time so that you can speak quite clearly and specifically to them. You get to make all the decisions then. It's a starting place. Okay, pick up your bits of paper. Bring yourselves back. No, bring them back here. We'll just briefly go around and share some of the words that you started to find to speak to those different groups.